Welcome to the interview. I'm Dan Hollander. Today we're talking with Lawrenceburg Fire Chief Jay Moore. Jay, good to have you with us.
Good to have y'all with us.
And hope that's not a fire.
No, that's just a regular phone.
How long have you been the Lawrenceburg Fire Chief, Jay?
I've been fire chief for a little over 3 years.
Was this something you always wanted to do? Was it something in the back of your mind that said, I want to like that idea?
This was a goal, years for years. We had a running joke, when I was a firefighter, you always want to be an engineer, the next level up. And, as you would work through the ranks, you always told the officer in front of you, I'm going to have your bugles one day. Because that's a goal you work for. And as long as you're working towards something, you're bettering yourself and you're bettering the community.
Do the requirements for fire chief continue to change?
They do continue to change. The workload has changed. Our technology here, we went from paper everything to almost paperless everything. So our technology has changed. Working with ISO, the standards have changed. The educational process has changed. The training processes, some of those have changed. So it's an ever-changing world in the fire service.
And that's a good thing.
It is, because it makes the work environment safer for the men out here.
How do you rate the Lawrenceburg Fire Department?
I would say we're top notch. We've got a good group of employees, very educated employees. They do an outstanding job for the public.
Not putting anybody else down, how do you feel you compare with other cities our size?
I think we're ahead of cities our size. We've been running hazardous material calls here since the 90s. Other cities are just starting to get into it, and some of them our size don't even do it. We were lucky enough to get a Homeland Security $1 million for equipment and truck through the Homeland Security program years ago while Chief Kelly was chief. And we have that station at a fire station 2 now. And hazmat technicians, all but probably 6 people in our department are hazmat technicians. So, I think we're way ahead of the game. We also provide EMS service that a lot of departments are just starting to do. We've done that since the 90s. So don't be surprised if you're in the city and you have a fire truck pull up to your house first for a medical call, because we have trained EMTs and EMRs here at the fire department. We can provide the first aid, the first assistance of emergency response till the EMS gets there.
How much training is there to becoming a firefighter? I'm sure you just don't walk in the door.
Correct. There's actually here to be a firefighter here in Lawrenceburg, and in most departments our size, you have to be an EMT, which is emergency medical technician. For the medical side, like I said, departments are starting to get into that now and running more medical calls. So you have to do that, and that's a semester of college itself. And then on the fire side, there's a 10-week rookie school, that's what they call it. And you go to the fire academy over in Bell Buckle, Tennessee, and you spend 10 weeks there, and you go through all the fire training that you have to do to become a entry-level firefighter. After that, the schooling is ongoing. I've been here for 32 years, working on 33, and I'm still going to school.
Any suggestions on outdoor grilling, kitchen fires? I would imagine that's, in the summer particularly, that's a problem.
It is. Kitchen fires, we'll talk about that a little bit first. The kitchen fires, make sure not to leave anything unattended. If you turn the stove on and you have a pot on it, don't forget it. Don't go sit down and wait for it to heat up, because that seems to be a lot of our issues with kitchen fires. Somebody will put a pot on the stove and turn it on, and they go in there to the couch or go do something and they forget about it. And the next thing they know, the kitchen's on fire. Turning handles inward. Don't leave handles sticking out over the bar or over the stove. Your little children can get a hold of them, pull a hot pan off on them. You could hit it, knock it off on the floor, and burn yourself. Things of this nature. Always have a working fire extinguisher. If you do have a kitchen fire, you may be able to knock it down before we get there, if it's small enough. If it's something you think you can't knock down quickly, then we want you to get out of the house. Call 911, get out of the house. We'll handle it. That's what we get paid for. Because if you're outside, you're alive. If you're inside, we have to worry about getting you out. We've got Captain McDowell here with us with the fire department, and he's going to explain it to you and show you in demonstration in a simulated fire on a grill how to use a fire extinguisher and where to use the fire extinguisher at during putting out a fire.
What we have here is a 10-pound ABC dry chemical extinguisher. It's pretty much the ordinary fire extinguisher that you'll find in all the stores that sell fire extinguishers. So we're going to use the PASS acronym. We're going to pull the pin, we're going to remove the hose and aim it at the base of the flames, and we're going to squeeze the handle to discharge the powder and sweep back and forth as we approach the fire. Once we get the fire extinguished, we want to, of course, close the top to the grill, and if possible, we want to remove the fuel source that's supplying the grill. In this case, we have a natural gas line. We can simply cut the valve off. If you have a propane cylinder, it can present a few more problems because it's around the heat where the actual fire was on the grill, and the line could be compromised, leaking propane still. So that's a problem. If you have a grill on fire, definitely call the fire department, let us come out, check it out, and we may have to remove that fuel source for you, but we're equipped to do it, and it'd be much safer for us to do it.
You know, my biggest suggestion on grilling fires is keep grills away from the sides of the house. The biggest issues we see in grilling fires is the grill will catch on fire from grease or whatever you're cooking, and it'll come out the backside or out the top, and all of a sudden it's under the eave of the house and it catches the eave on fire, and now we got a house fire. We had a small grill fire, and now we got a house fire that's most of the time in the attic, which is a harder fire to attack.
What do you see in the future for fire departments? Are they going to look totally different? Or some difference?
Yeah, the fire department's ever changing with technology. You know, I come to work here in 1986. And in 1997, we done our own fundraiser to buy our first thermal imaging camera. In '98, the city bought us a second thermal imaging camera, and we still have those two cameras today. They still work. They're not the best technology in the world. They're better than anything, better than nothing. But we've also upgraded. We have 3 brand new thermal imaging cameras that was bought in the last 3 years, and we have another camera that we bought like in the last 5 years. And that may not mean anything to the public. That technology that's ever changing that we're talking about allows a firefighter to be able to go in and see exactly where they're going. This is one of our new thermal imaging cameras that we just got this week. It's a smaller version. It's going to be used by the safety officer or an outside safety person to be able to see the heat travel during a structure fire on the outside, which will help determine where the fire is located at for a faster attack. You know, at night you can't see people because, you know, it's dark outside. You got to use flashlight and you're only limited. We can carry this out in a dark environment, and as you can see now with Dan sitting there, if he was laying down in the grass or in the woods somewhere, we'd be able to spot him. So that it's very good technology, and that's the technology that I keep talking about that's ever changing in the fire service. The electricity and the load that's on that plug is causing that plug to heat up, and it shows you how hot it is. If a breaker's hot, you know, in the breaker box, then we can point this at the breaker box and we can go up and down the breakers till we find the breaker that's loaded so heavy and it's hot. And if it's a hazard, then we can cut that breaker off and they can get your electrician to come in and fix the problem. Like the plug we're looking at now, is 94 degrees. And if we move it just to the side, the temperature goes down to 68 degrees.
In addition to fires, you respond to other calls as well, don't you?
We do. We respond, like I said, we respond to medical calls. We've been doing that since the 90s. Actually, the last time I run the statistics, our call volume-wise, our call volume was about 62 to 65% medical calls that we run. And as of right now, we've run 1,334 calls from January 1 till today. So we're on track to have as big a year as we've ever had. The biggest year we had was in 2014, which we run 2,671 calls that year.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of calls.
Does that mean people are getting more careless in the kitchen or in the house?
Well, our fire volume, I won't say our fire volume has went up. Our fire volume stays a steady rate, you know, within probably 10 to 15 calls a year. As far as structure fires are concerned. It's our medical calls, our special operation calls. Like you said before, we run a lot of calls. We have a water rescue team. In 1998, if everybody remembers, we had the flood here that devastated the city. A lot of lessons was learned during that. We had to call in other agencies to assist us and help us. And in that, we seen the need for a swiftwater rescue team developed here. And Lawrenceburg was the first swiftwater team here in the county. We developed that team. Hours of training, we've added personnel to it from the department with hours of training. We're thought enough of that we've been called to, we were put on standby during the Katrina hurricane to go to Louisiana. Never did receive a call to go, but they called us to get us prepared. We responded, after responding here in May of 2010 flood, and in surrounding counties, we had a day of rest, and then we were called to Cheatham County. And we went to Ashland City and spent a day and a half, or 2.5 days there, assisting in rescues and other operations in the water there. Our hazmat team also went and spent 2.5 days there. And I know you'll remember, the people remember the South Carolina flood that just happened last year. We sent a team of 4 over there. We received a call requesting our assistance, and we packed them up, got everything they needed, and got them ready, and they headed out to South Carolina. So, you know, for our department to be ahead of the game, I would say yes, we're ahead of the game. Call-wise, we offer a lot of services. You know, we do high-angle rescue. We still get that occasional pet rescue call.
Yeah.
And we'll do everything we can, but there's sometimes that, you know, we can't rectify that situation. But we do everything we can to help people out.
How can citizens help the department? I can imagine people saying, there's nothing I can do, I don't know anything about fighting fires, but there are other things they can do.
There is. You know, we are in the process of our fire prevention programs. We're working on that. You know, and that's how we've changed the culture of the fireside since I've become a fireman here 32 years ago. Ads come out asking for donations for public education materials, things like that. That's really the only financial side that they could help out on. But there's other ways, like fire hydrants. We have to flow high fire hydrants once a year. And I know in some instances people think those are ugly things in their yard, you know, and they want to plant flowers around them. Well, that hinders us from us being able to do our job. We have a painting program where we're going to go around and try to get them all painted back up and cleaned up and looking good. It's going to be processed. So things like that, not parking in front of a fire hydrant, you know. The State Fire Marshal's Office has a program going on now and has had for about the last 1.5 years of shutting the door. They have a campaign going on, and what they're trying to accomplish in this is, if you're in a bedroom sleeping at night and your door's shut and there's a fire in another area of the house, that door's going to keep the heat off of you, and it's going to keep some smoke out of your bedroom till you're alerted by your working smoke detector that we hope everyone has. If you experience a fire during the daytime in the kitchen or in a closet or a bedroom, you know, if you can shut the door to that room that that fire's in, it'll help contain that fire to that room and the majority of the damage to that room. The other parts of the house will have some smoke damage, but it'll keep the majority of the damage to that room, which makes our job easier and makes your loss less.
How can people help you, citizens?
Just give us a call. You know, we're here to serve you and protect you.
I mean, to help you. How? Other than be supportive?
Being supportive of the department, you know, realizing, you know, these guys are here for 24 hours and they're off for 48 hours. But while they're here for 24 hours, this is their home. They're responsible for cleaning their home here, just like they are at their house. They're responsible for all the maintenance on the general, small maintenance on the equipment. So, you know, let the guys know if you see them out and they're doing a good job, let them know. You know, that helps them, that helps you as the public. And, you know, they have to eat too, and you'll see the engines sometimes out of the restaurant eating. What a lot of people don't realize is we may be closer to the call, sitting right there eating, than we are at the station. You know, and what some don't realize sometimes is they don't ever get to finish their meal. You know, they'll have to get up and leave and go to a call and not ever get to finish the meal. So, you know, just an understanding that our guys are there to serve you, but they make sacrifices in the process of serving the public.
Jay, appreciate your visit.
Appreciate it very much. Thank
A
you.
lot of
for
great
having us.
information there. Lawrenceburg Fire Chief Jay Moore, our guest today on The Interview. I'm Dan Hollander. Thanks for watching.